Hello everyone, welcome to my talk about for an app supposed to make its user feel better, it shares a joke, an analysis of user reviews of mobile mental health applications. I am Romael, Haque, my co-author is Sabirat, Rubya. We are both from Department of Computer Science at Market University. This is an overview of the presentation I'm going to discuss today. I'll provide a short intro and motivations for our research questions we addressed, methods and the findings from our study, and a brief research and design implications based on that findings. About 1 in 5 US adults suffer from mental health concerns. Among them, around 55% of people do not receive treatment because of inaccessibility, high cost, and stigma. In such a space, mobile mental health applications have shown strong promise because of the low cost and convenience. They can be accessed from anywhere, anytime, and are easily adaptable to patients' lifestyle. However, prior studies have shown that these applications suffer from a high dropout rate. There are also concerns about privacy, effectiveness, and usability. Most of the applications are not evidence-based, and their efficacy in aiding people with mental health concerns is questionable. Now, the research behind this low effectiveness of mental health apps is still in its infancy. There is also a lack of standardized guidelines for the app developers. To gain an empirical understanding of why there is such a low level of engagement and significant dropout rates, it is vital to examine the challenges and concerns regarding these apps from the user's perspective and their real-life experiences. And user reviews provide a unique venue to extract such information. So we designed our study based on 2 research questions. First, what is the state of the art in mobile mental health applications in terms of targeted mental health problems and techniques used to support users? And second, what are the concerns and perspectives expressed in user reviews published on mobile app store platforms about the usability and efficiency of mobile mental health applications? To answer this research question, we scraped user reviews and app descriptions from 117 applications from Google platform and 76 applications from Apple platforms. We applied 3 filters in the scraped reviews. First, we included reviews published between January 1, 2019 and May 1, 2021 to look closely at the most recent ones. Second, we included reviews with character counts of 200 or more for data integrity. Third, to discover the negative insights discussed in the reviews, we considered all reviews with less than or equal to 3 stars and reviews with more than 3 stars that contain some negative components. In total, from both platforms, 4,923 reviews met all the inclusion criteria. Then we analyzed the reviews using an inductive thematic approach. Now, to gain an understanding of the current status of the commercially available mental health apps, we categorize the 164 unique applications based on what mental health conditions they target and what intervention tools and techniques they adopt. Figure A shows the percentage of addressed mental health problems. Anxiety is the most addressed issue with 48.17%. Other significant issues are stress with 37.8%, depression with 33.54%. Different apps use different strategies and tools to treat these various mental health issues. These technologies can be split into 5 broad categories. They are evidence-based framework, therapy, technology tools, to continuous assessment, and community and peer support. Figure B represents the number and percentage of these broad categories and subcategories. All categories in figure A and B are mutually inclusive, which means that an app can address multiple mental health conditions and can implement a variety of strategies. Except for the reviews related to UI issues and software bugs, our analysis identified 12 major concerns within the negative reviews. We broadly categorize these 12 themes into 5 broad categories. Now I'm going to present some of the interesting findings of our study. For the full results of our study, we really encourage you to go through the paper. The user reviews frequently indicated that the moderation processes and policies implemented in many of the apps are quite inconsistent. Users have complained about moderators not following established guidelines and showing biases against specific demographics, genders, races, and religions. According to our analysis, there is a lack of transparency in key areas of mobile mental health apps, such as how users are matched with their therapists or coaches and what their qualifications are. Users often get confused about what to expect from a paid version of the app, causing frustration after spending a handful of money, and some applications do not clearly specify what user information they collect and how. When dealing with mental health patients, it is critical to understand that a crisis can be triggered for anyone at any time, and it is not addressed in a timely manner it can have serious effects. After discussing a potential crisis symptom, users frequently have to wait for a long time to hear from their therapist and professional coaches, or they get short and irrelevant replies from their coaches and counselors. In our study, we found numerous instances of toxic activities in the community, features such as racism, sexism, trolling, harassment, and prejudice behaviors that encourage destructive ideas such as suicide. Lastly, we have found users' concern relating to many aspects of the chatbot, such as failure to be helpful, lack of learning capabilities, and risk of triggering mental health issues through incorrect responses. Users reported that the conversations get boring with the bots as AI misses a lot of contextual clues. There are also some aspects and features that are liked by the users, such as easy navigation of actionable practical features. A handful of reviews reveal that they compare these apps with alternate options, determine the benefit-cost ratio for them, and do not mind paying if they think that the ratio is considerably high. Also, app-embedded chatbots can make them feel less lonely, and they like it because the bots can create a judgment-free space for them to share. In the following slides, I will discuss some of the research and design implications for mobile mental health development from our findings. First, our findings implied the importance of developing and following specific moderation policies curtailed to the community need. For small communities, peer-led moderation could be an alternative. Also, machine learning techniques like NLP can be impactful to enhance the pre-moderation stage and flag content automatically. Second, we argue that data transparency is critical. A balance between what users desire and how much information third parties are prepared to offer need to be established. Also, developers should carefully design the interfaces that make pricing information transparent. For instance, they can adopt simple visualization approaches that show the pricing background and total cost upfront and provide reminders and warning notifications before any type of payment is charged. The free trials should be offered for the useful features, and if that's not the case, then the user should be informed even before they attempt to install the app that none of the services offered are free. Third, users are perplexed about how they were matched with the therapists and counselors since the assigned ones often did not communicate as expected. A simple interactive checklist interface can be used to take user symptoms and other preferences as input, and recommendation algorithms can be adapted to show them an ordered list of therapists based on their symptoms. Therapists should be offered with interfaces to easily list their qualification as well as their previous history of dealing with patients in anonymized case story format. Finally, to optimize chatbot responses, different machine learning methodologies, including utilizing linguistic aspects, can be implemented for chatbots in mental health. Emergency support through chatbots need to be more efficient and interactive. Our findings implied the need for a comprehensive guideline, and the guideline should consider at least three following elements. If an app aims to provide peer-to-peer help, developers need to be reminded to implement techniques that keep their moderators and admins accountable. Users appreciate well-explained information regarding the support they'll be provided with, and you should keep track of the latest updates of the regulations and instruct the developers in an easy-to-follow manner. There are a few limitations I would like to point out. We may be missing feedback from users who are not comfortable with about writing their experiences on online platforms. We elected not to incorporate critical assessment around broad UI issues and software bugs. We looked at ratings from only two major mobile platforms, Google and Apple. Other mobile platforms were not considered for the scope of this research. To conclude, user reviews can point out crucial information about their values and needs. Developing guidelines with user reviews in mind may help users make uniform decisions and bridge the communication gap that exists between developers and users. Thank you for listening to my presentation.